Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about creative visualization and what exactly is that. Well, I have a great book here. I'm actually still in the midst of it by Jack Canfield called The Success Principles. And I actually met him a few years ago. I interviewed him and I had got my book signed by him. And I've been reading this book ever since, and I'm actually further along from there, but he's got a little quote in here about what is creative visualization. And he said it's actually the act of creating compelling and vivid pictures in your mind. And what's the purpose of actually doing that? Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with goal setting and affirmations. So basically people have heard for years, you need to set some goals, SMART goals, they're attainable, measurable. So I'm not going to get into that too much tonight, but the purpose of actually having a visualization board is so you could actually put yourself in your goals and have a vivid picture in your mind. So in your mind's eye, if you could see where you're going to go, you will end up going there. So visualization actually activates three main components in your mind. The first being your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind actually sees in pictures. So it's very valuable to have pictures of what you're interested in. I have a sample here, I'll show you in just a minute. And the second part is the reticular activating system of your mind. And that's when, for instance, you want to buy a house, with a blue house with a beautiful front porch, and you really want to have a hammock in the front there. Now, every time you turn the TV on, you see that house now. You're like, where did it come from? Now, every magazine you go in, you see the same kind of house. Where did it come from? Was it never there before? Well, no, it was there, but your reticular activating system was never detecting it because you weren't focusing on it. So that's how that works for you. So it kind of brings to you what you want. The third thing is actually working on different levels of motivation and actually magnetizing things to you similar to the law of attraction. So as you bring these things to you in your mind, you visualize yourself being in these goals and dreams that you have, then that actually magnetizes it to you with the laws of the universe. So let me show you a simple example of a visualization board. Now this is not mine from home because mine is bigger than this, but if you could take a look over there, and the reason it says picture your perfect day, or your perfect day, is because that's a great start if you're going to make a visualization board. You sit down and you write down, or you think in your mind, if you had a perfect day, how would it go? Now my perfect day, actually, I'd be waking up in Fort Lauderdale, which is where this picture is right here, on the beach. And I'd probably be wearing this bikini because I'd fit into that bathing suit, which I probably wouldn't right now. And I might go to ballroom or Latin dancing in the evening. So that might be something as an example. But in the winter, I might go to my cabin for Christmas, and right here, it's a beautiful cabin up in the mountains. So that's an example of it, and right here I actually have it's cut out from a TV guide. And what that is, I've actually put in there, Mike and I have a talk show that we're working on, and I've actually put it in there at an 11 a.m. time slot. So we're actually on TV in my visualization board. So a great example of how to utilize this is for in the morning you want to take 10 to 15 minutes and you want to close your eyes. You look at your pictures, then you close your eyes is one method. You relax and you visualize yourself in those pictures. So if I'm looking at a beach, maybe I want to put on some music because you really want to incorporate your five senses as well. So the more emotion you can bring into it, the more the universe will actually attract that to you, and the quicker that you'll get what you want. So a good example, put on some beach music, sit back, relax, and think about it. So there's some interesting statistics that actually back this up. They've done some studies at Harvard, and they actually looked at students and how they were preparing for different items as far as their test taking and such that they were doing. So students that actually visualized what they were going to do beforehand had almost 100% accuracy of what they were trying to accomplish. But those students that didn't only accomplished about 55% of what their goal was, as far as because they had not visualized it before. So if you take that into context in your own life, for instance, if you're a salesperson, if you're not going to think and sit down and take a little bit of time to visualize the sales call going exactly as you want it to go, you're going to have a 55% chance of getting that right as opposed to close to 100% chance by reliving it, or pre-living it, I should say, before you go out your sales call. So there's another great statistic which I think backs this up. Psychologists now believe that if you take 1 hour and you just visualize a day, so maybe split it up and take a half hour here and there, it's actually equivalent to 7 full hours of physical labor. So I'm going to wrap up here by saying what this actually means is sit back, relax, make your picture boards. I actually have a flip book as well, and you can have it however you like. Sit back, visualize your perfect day, your goals and dreams, because your little hour that you're going to take and relax is actually worth 7 hours of physical labor manpower.